When I was living in Germany, I had this old Volkswagen Fastback, and the starter started failing on it. So where I lived, I would park it on the edge of the hill, and then I could push it down the road on the slope, and it would crank up, and that worked pretty good. So one morning, it's getting near Christmas, and I pushed it down the road, and it slid on ice, and it didn't crank up. So I went looking around town, and this is just about sun up, and you could hear the tractor running of a German that was out going to his farm. So I walked around the town, and I found this guy, and I went and asked him if he could give me a pull start with his tractor, and he came and he did it. Well, like I said, it was Christmas time, and my mother, she mailed me the obligatory fruitcake, which at that time I would never taste, but now I know they're delicious, and I would taste one, but I don't have any now, so because nobody sends me one anymore. So I had this fruitcake and didn't know what to do to it. So I decided to take it down to the German guy, the farmer, and give it to him as a Christmas present. And I didn't think too much of it, but this guy was so overwhelmed it made me his best friend. I mean, this guy was so happy that that fruitcake made so much joy to this man. And sometimes later, it's still winter, it's cold and icy, and sure enough, another time slipped on the ice and wouldn't start. So I started walking around town looking for this farmer because I could hear his tractor in the streets, and I'm walking around, and it's dark, and I hear it, and I'm following the sound, and finally I come around to my street, and he's already got the tractor hooked up to, ready to go. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So the woman I was married to at the time was pregnant and due to have the baby. And I was a little worried about the car, but I knew I could just push start it, or this German guy, I could get him. But I didn't think about it being 3:30 in the morning. So she wakes me up and tells me that some water gushed out. And we were so young and stupid, we didn't even know what that meant, water breaking. And so we had breakfast, and I said, I'm going to go down and get the car started. You come on down when you're ready, and we'll go. So I tried the car, started, and I stayed there letting it warm up, warm up, warm up, and she didn't come down. So I decided I would go back and check. And as soon as I stepped away from the car, it went dead. Well, she wasn't ready. She was still trying to get ready. Went back down, cranked right up. Unbelievable. This happened 6 times. The car started 6 times in a row. She finally came down, loaded her up. Now, the snow that night was going this way. It wasn't coming down, it was going more than a 45-degree angle across. I'd never seen the snow like that. So we drove these like 50 kilometers to the hospital. And I got there and I parked that car on the hill, so I could coast start it if I needed to. We went in the hospital, did the whole baby thing, and it's fine. I came out the next morning to go home. Car wouldn't start after it started 6 times the night before. Just wouldn't start. Pushed it down the hill, chugged, wouldn't start. Moral of the story, I guess I should have got the starter fixed, but it was kind of a miraculous starter story. So that's my story of the fruitcake and the starter. Talk to you later.